intro real quick.
This shit's fire.
Dude, what do you think about that intro? Is
That's
that
pretty
awesome or
cool.
what? Yeah.
Yeah, I like
So
that. I like that a lot.
dude, it's awesome. But listen, everybody, obviously everybody knows we are live now, but dude, Nathan, what an honor it is to have you on. I know we had been trying to schedule this for a long time, and now I got you nailed down. Well, you got me nailed down to do this. So yeah, listen, it's an honor. Nathan, I don't want to murder your last name. So do me the favor and say your last name for me.
All right, it's Seethaler.
Seethaler.
Yeah.
Seethaler. Okay.
Yep.
I got it. Seethaler. There we go.
There
So
you go.
welcome
That's
to
right.
the podcast, man. Listen, it's an honor. I know you had a busy day today, and you postponed your drive again, bro. Listen, check this out. Watch this. Watch. No, look.
You're right. Oh, does it do for me too?
Listen, I had a
Oh,
guest
what
on
the?
here. I know, but my guest, I forget who it is. I need to go back and watch, but they showed me that they did it, and I was like, how did you just do that, right? And then like, if I do, yeah, thumbs up, you see that? And then I did balloons one time. I don't know how I did the balloons, and I had a bunch of balloons pop up, and I was like, what's going on? Is that me or is that you? I didn't know who was
Yeah,
doing it.
that's funny.
Because so StreamYard is something I've been it's fairly new. Well, I've been using it for a little while. We used to use another service called Riverside, and it wasn't nowhere near as cool as this one. So I'm still trying to figure out the whole ins and outs of everything. I know that as we're talking, we're doing this podcast, I could actually go to YouTube and pull or your Instagram and pull up videos of you on the track or whatever as we're actually
Okay.
talking, which is pretty cool. So,
Oh, shoot, I should have posted some more stuff then.
well, listen, that's something I just figured out not too long ago. Jill
Yeah.
showed me how to do it, and it took me a little while to actually figure it out. But now I got it. I pretty much got it down. So
Yeah.
I will mess with that as we are talking. But listen, Nathan, bro, what an honor again. Obviously, I want to get into it, man. I want to talk about your whole story, right? That's how I always started, because there's always a beginning, right? You start somewhere, whether it was your dad that introduced you, your uncle, your grandpa, and your mama said, absolutely not. And grandpa's like, yeah, okay, here it is, right, for Christmas. So how did you get introduced to the whole two-wheel game?
So, I kind of grew up around my dad riding. I guess he rode throughout college, and he had this old VTX, Honda VTX. That's the one I remember. He had a couple other bikes, but that's the main one I remember. And he used to take us to school, I think like middle school or even elementary school. He would take us, little kid with the big old helmet on, and he'd tell us he'd always get looks in like the carpool lane, because you have a little kid with a helmet on a motorcycle. It's I think it's kind of where it started. We kind of grew up with it. He ended up selling it, I think, right around high school age for me. And I had always wanted to get back into it. I remember when I was 17, I told my dad, I was like, look, I want to get into the two wheels. How can we do it? I clearly can afford a two-wheel bike, but what can we do? So we ended up going to one of the auctions for the safety courses for those. They sell off their old bikes. It was a bunch of Nighthawk 250s, like 97, 96, really old, all beat up. Something's wrong with each of them, why they're not using it anymore. So we ended up grabbing a 97 Honda Nighthawk for $250, which is sweet, right? It
Sweet
just had a
deal.
dead battery
Absolutely.
and a torn seat. So we got that. We brought it home. We painted it. We reupholstered the seat. We fixed it up. And that was kind of, this was my senior year, so I started driving to school in this thing, and I felt like the coolest kid in the world.
Right.
And
You're like, I'm getting a bunch of chicks with this thing. Watch this. Yeah. Watch this, Dad. Yeah.
yeah, there was a teacher in high school. He would let me store all my gear in his class because he rode too. He's like, yeah, come store your stuff in my class. Absolutely. But yeah, so after high school, I went to college. I went to NC State University, and I joined a motorcycle club. I think it's called WMA, Wolfpack Motorcycle Association. And there are a lot of guys with sport bikes, and I have my little Nighthawk 250. So that thing tops out at 70 going downhill, fully pinned, tucked, tops out at 70. So I did one group ride. I couldn't keep up, and I really wanted to kind of, upgrade a little bit. So I was working at the time, and I ended up buying a 2003 Honda 600 F4i. I mean, that thing was a blast.
Nice. Yeah,
That
they're nice
yeah, I
bikes, man.
yep, learned how to wheelie on it,
Yeah.
being a little hooligan, a
Yeah.
college student. Um,
That
so I
was
started
actually
doing
the first year of the 600 being fuel injected with Honda.
yeah, yeah, it was, yeah. And
Absolutely.
after coming off the carburetor on the Nighthawk, I really didn't want to go back, but
Yeah.
thankfully I found a one in my price range.
Yeah, absolutely. So listen, I have a good mate of mine over there in the UK is Chris Lewis, and it is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It is midnight there in the UK, and he is watching this. So, Chris Lewis, mate, dude, I thank you so much, bro, for all the love and support you show all the time. You are my friend is super mega. Sorry, Nathan. I definitely had to give Chris a shout out for sure. Um, listen, it was so a buddy of mine actually got his wife actually rides a F4i right now. It's a the first year. What your same year? Oh
I think it was
three, I think it was.
2003. Is
Yeah,
that right?
2003. Yeah. It's silver. I think it's silver.
Yeah, mine was silver too.
Yeah. It's man, it's a nice bike. I rode it last summer, just taking it down the street. And I was like, for the age of it, it's man, listen, they're all fast, they're all good, right? Fuel injectors, they're carbureted. Man, if your carbureted bike set up just perfect, yeah, it's almost just as good as a fuel injected bike, right? But it's such a pain in the ass with a carbureted bike, man. You get higher in elevation, it starts running rich or lean. You got to pull the gas tank, the air box, the carburetors, drain the fuel, blah blah blah. Put it back. You're there for 4 hours, just change something. Versus, let me plug my laptop in, do, enter, boom, I'm done. Let me take it out and ride it and see what's happening.
Yeah, I guess I kind of grew up on the edge of carburetor
Yeah,
to
with
fuel
feeling,
injected. Thankfully,
yeah.
I'm glad to be on the fuel injected side of that. But I'm sure I would have appreciated it if I had to deal with it. But
Yeah, it's actually a lost art. You can't really go to a lot of motorcycle dealerships around here. There's not a lot of people that know how to work on carburetors anymore, which is
yeah,
surprising.
yeah, I had a little pit bike, and we had a carburetor. It was carbureted, and it just seemed like if you let it sit for a little too long, either you had to try to rebuild it, which was almost impossible, for at least for us who had never done it, or just buy a new carburetor, which was like $40 for the little pit bike.
Yeah.
So I think we bought two different carburetors over time having that thing. But
Yeah, it's yeah, man. It's so your story is kind of like mine. Like I got introduced to bikes from my dad too as well. My dad was a fighter pilot in the Navy. Did what Tom Cruise did in Top Gun, aircraft carrier, fighter jets, all that. So I remember hanging out with a bunch of the fighter pilots, and everybody had. My dad had it was a Suzuki. Was it 1983, 84 Suzuki something. I want to say GS something. It was silver. I remember he used to take me riding. I was too small to sit in the back, right? So he'd either wedge me up on the gas tank, right, where he'd slide all the way back, or he'd sit me up on the gas tank. He put this like little mat down, and he put me on the gas tank, and I'd put my hands on his hands, and I'd make all the noises. I'm like, all right, Daddy, I'm ready. Let's go. Same thing. Big helmet, small head, helmet's doing all this, right? I can't. It's like this. I can't barely see, riding all that. But that's where my passion too come from, was absolutely my dad, and I want a bike. I want a bike. Mom was like, absolutely not. That mom, oh, you're going to hurt yourself, blah, blah, blah. My dad's like, we're going to get him a bike. Obviously, they didn't get me a bike, right? Mama wins on that one. But
yeah,
fortunate for me, the bases we went to, because we moved Navy, I moved all the time, right? Always sought after the kids with the motorcycles. If they were older than me or even younger than me, I'm like, that's my friend right there. I'm going to hang out with this kid right here, right? And yeah, the rest is history. So when I turned 16, I didn't buy a car. I bought a brand new 1996 ZX6R off the showroom floor. And my mom's like, what are you going to do when it rains? Like, get wet or buy a rain
ride the
suit?
bike, absolutely.
Right. She's like, what are you going to do when it gets cold? I was like, you seen the Michelin Man commercials where he's like bundled up? I'm going to have the same outfit. I'm going to be just this big. Yeah. I need everybody's clothes. So I'd go around the house. I'd be like, Dad, of course, my dad's bigger than me. So I'd put my sweatpants on, his sweatpants on, his pants on, just whatever it took, because of the love for the sport. It didn't matter. It's 5 degrees. I'm riding. About 10 minutes into the ride, I'm going home because it's way too cold, right? Yeah, I'm turning this thing around. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, great. So after that, how did growing up and then getting your first street bike, right? You finally got your F4i. After that, what happened?
Yeah, so I was a part of that motorcycle club at NC State, and just kind of ride with the guys all the time. I ended up eventually getting a Honda CBR 1000 Fireblade 2009. I absolutely loved that bike. It was just black and white, amazing. I have lots of pictures on Facebook of it. And that thing got me in a lot of trouble. So
Facts.
that's actually kind of how I got started. So I started the motorcycle club thing, but I would go on my own rides, and I would, it's so easy to go 150 on that thing. And I wasn't getting in trouble, but I was avoiding trouble, if you catch my drift.
I do.
And it got to the point where I was like, I'm either gonna die on this thing or go to jail. Like, I got to do something. And my dad said, he's like, if you sell the bike, I'll get you into racing. I guess he had done some researching that you can just go to a track and ride around the track. How crazy of an idea that is.
Right.
And yeah, I got rid of it, and he bought me this. I think it was a 2007 Gixxer 600, and it was, I mean, it was everything. It had like valving in the forks, which was crazy to me. It had rear suspension, it had the track body work, it had everything for me. And we did a first track day at NC bike, and after watching me go around the track for a full day, he went out and bought himself another Gixxer 600 2007. So we both kind of got into it at the same time, and that's we both kind of grown through the sport at the same time too. And I'm unbelievably blessed to have my dad kind of by my side through this whole experience, through this whole
Yeah.
adventure. And he's been absolutely crucial, especially when I've gotten into the racing. As we've kind of climbed through the ranks of novice, intermediate, and advanced. I started getting into racing. I convinced him to kind of get into a little bit, and you know, I think I've got a little less fear than he does. He always tells me, he's like, I got a job, I gotta do all this stuff, and I totally get it. He's got
Yeah.
to support the family, but sometimes I wish I had some of that sense. But yeah, climbing through novice and expert, he's kind of stepped back a little bit and kind of took more of the mechanic route. And he says he likes it. I try to get him to ride, do 2 track days, but it definitely seems like he's passionate about supporting me, which I'm unbelievably blessed for. I can't ask for anything more. And
That's dude, yeah, that's absolutely proper. Like, I
yeah,
love to hear that. I love to see father, son, mother. Of course, you do see moms, but not a whole lot, right? More so dads, but man, that's what our sport's about. The passion, the love, right? Your dad, like, hey, I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna let you shine. I'm gonna do everything I can to help you. Just as I'm a dad, so uh I sacrificed a lot for my son, right? Yeah, I used to be able to go out and buy all these fucking Ducatis and dude, all these Air Jordans and all this shit, right? When you have a kid, man, it's just switches, right? It's none of that shit matters to me anymore. I sold my dude. Well, I got one now, but I had a 1098S, dude. It was mint, absolutely fucking mint. Sold it because I want to buy a house. Wife got pregnant, blah blah blah. All that good stuff. But um, the point I'm trying to make, Nathan, is the joy that I get seeing my son achieve something or seeing him being passionate and love it. And dude, it makes me happier than I've ever been in my life. It's just that it's so, yes, I get it. And I love to see that in our sport. It is absolutely amazing, and it's, if you didn't have that support, do you think you'd be where you are right now?
oh, absolutely not.
Right.
Not only like has he, he's been the wallet for a large portion of it, um,
I love it. What's your dad's
he's
name?
Ken.
Ken, if you're
Yeah,
listening, bravo, man. Absolutely bravo.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, I don't want to shout out my mom. My mom has shown up to all the same events. She doesn't do the mechanical side of stuff, but she's absolutely just as supportive. She does seem like she gets less scared that I'm out there than my dad. I maybe she's you know, she doesn't really know what's going on out there as much as my dad does, but
Right.
she loves to come, and she likes to help us with the meals and try to keep us healthy. It's
Of
really easy to kind
course.
of buy cookies and stuff when we go there, but she's helps keeps us on track and keeps us eating healthy. But yeah, it's a whole family thing. I have something that a lot of people don't have, and I don't want people to think that I don't consider that a blessing, because I do. Like, I
Oh,
fully realize what I have,
absolutely.
and
Yeah.
I try not to take advantage of it.
It's dude, mama's cooking at the track, bro. I'm sure you're probably the most popular guy there. They're like, Nathan's here. That means his mama's here. We're going to eat good today. Yeah, it's
Yeah, she's actually cooking for a team at Daytona. I can't go because of school. Well, I might be able to go, but yeah, they got recruited. So my dad's helping mechanic for Josh Booth, and my mom's going out there and doing some meal prepping for them all. So, you know,
absolutely amazing. Absolutely. See, I wish, dude, listen, I wish I could make Daytona 200. It was on my agenda. It's just financially I just can't. I could have sacrificed Road Atlanta to go
mhm.
to Daytona, but I'm working with Ron Wolf that on that race weekend, and you know I've done committed to it, and I'm not yeah and I want to do that. That's so much fun to do. But yeah, dude, Daytona's on my bucket list. I really want to go one
Yeah,
day
it's on my
next
bucket
year.
list too. I want to
Yeah,
check off some more boxes before I do it, but absolutely, I will do it one day.
that and I went to BSB, which is my favorite race series in the world. I love BSB. Yes, I say it all the time. I love it better than MotoGP, Moto America. I'm not taking nothing away. I'm not talking shit. The main reason why I love it, Nathan, is because their superbike class, they don't have the electronics on it that everybody else in the world has, right? So they're proper old school racing. It's down to the
Mhm.
rider that makes the biggest difference as the tires go. They don't have, oh, would you come back in the pit? Oh, okay, well, I add a little bit more traction control on turn 4, a little bit more engine braking in turn 2, blah blah blah. Right? It's very 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 minute and limited on what they have, right? And that's so proper to me. Uh, and I love it. It's just great. It is. And Moto America, I love it too, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm American. We're here in America. It's the greatest we have here in America for sure. Um, I just wish that as time goes, obviously there's been a shit ton of electronics been coming into it, right?
Oh yeah.
Which is fine. But to me, I don't know. I'm old school, right? I'm more the old school. Let the rider be more in control than the electronics, right? So now, to me, MotoGP's done come like an F1 sport. The engineer basically makes the biggest adjustment, not the rider, right? No matter what the rider does, the engineer's got to step in and be like, okay, do, boom, there you go, right? Versus BSB, they don't have that really, so it's all yeah, awesome stuff, man, great stuff. But have you ever been? Do you watch BSB?
No, but apparently need to check it out. So,
Bro, dude, listen, it's free.
is it really?
Bennett's, yes, dude, Bennett's British Superbikes.com, bro.
Okay.
When we get off here, dude, we'll go
Yeah,
over all
send me
that.
the
But
link.
yes,
Absolutely.
dude, it's free. Absolutely. And what's cool about that is they have a TSL timing. So if you
Mhm.
can't actually, if you're not in an area where you got good signal to do the video, they have something that's called TSL timing in the corner. You just click on that, and then you get the live commentary of all the practice sessions in every single group from their junior cup all the way up to their superbike
Oh wow,
that they do it.
that's
And
pretty
that's one
sweet.
thing I love about that, right? Over here in Moto America, we don't have that. It's just basically, you know, your little super sport, your little junior cup, and it's televised, but they don't give you that option to where if you can't get this signal, you can listen to it on audio, right? And watch the live timing too at the same
Mhm.
time, which is yeah, absolutely. And it's free. I mean, I don't see how they get away with that. It's absolutely proper, right? It is. It really is. But yeah, so listen, getting into racing, starting out as an amateur, coming from the street, Nathan, you probably had a bunch of butterflies. Like, what am I doing? Getting out there on the track, people coming up on the inside, you're like, oh shit, this is the real deal, right? Starting out from street to getting on the track and then finally deciding saying, hey, you know what? This is something that I really serious want to take serious. And you moved up pretty quick through your rankings. So tell us about that journey from street to track to where you are now.
All right. Well, I did my, I did track days, I think from like 2015 to 20, maybe 2016 to 2019 is when my first novice season was. I did a couple races in 2018 with the Gixxer, um, and then I ended up binning that Gixxer at the end of 2018 at Roebling in turn 3. Absolutely destroyed it. Split the frame where that meets the forks.
Oh
Like the
shit.
whole front end was split off. Both forks were sheared in half. I mean, it was, I still think my air vest saved uh, at my ribs at least, my life at most. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and then we ended up going to an R6, and the first weekend of the year, I almost had a sweep. 3 first place, and then way ahead in my fourth race, passing experts, racing experts, and I dumped the bike in turn two. It was, it's worth it. Racing people, winning's no fun if you can't ride next to anybody. So, um, yeah, and that just kind of started. I had a nice little rivalry with Josh Booth and Mike Martin. It was a lot of back and forth. We used to hear that people would come and watch the novice races because while we weren't fast, we were always neck and neck. There's multiple races where it's 0.003 or something like that on the timings. It was always so much fun to do, and I think that's why I ended up falling in love with it so much, was because of those guys and the rest of the guys in the series. I got really close with everybody, like in that top 10 of the C-class guys. It was clean. You didn't have to worry about anybody being really rough with you. But it was hard work. Like, you really had to push yourself and push other people to improve and win. And I think that's where I really fell in love with it. So my first year, I ended up winning my championship, the Atlantic Coastal. Yeah, it was a great feeling. It came down to the last race so that was amazing. GNF that year was the torrential downpour. I don't know if you've seen pictures
Yeah.
of the GNF where there's just massive puddles.
Yeah.
I don't know how I didn't crash that whole weekend. It's unbelievable. I remember going down to after Charlotte's Web, going to museum. The front would do this, like you're pinned and the front's skating like this, and you're like, I'm not crashing, but we're going.
We're going. Yeah, that's it.
And as a novice, you don't really realize, I guess, without a big crash happening, you don't fully kind of see, what could happen. You just kind of send it. I do that now, but definitely not as much. But yeah, so that was a great first year. Second year, expert, I was kind of set my expectations kind of low, but I ended up doing surprisingly good. I got a lot of podiums. Cycle Jam, I got second place, and they took a picture of us and featured us on like the Dunlop Instagram page. That was really cool because it was me, Mark, and Mark Faulkner and Chuck Ivy all run Dunlops. So that was really cool, and that was another great year. I think I was like top 5 in the series, and at the GNF, another rainy day. First race of the weekend, I come out of the chicane after museum. I was in first place in my first race, and I lost the rear and ended up eating it. And I don't know if you've seen the rumble strips on the outside of that turn, but they're about this deep and they're about this wide. So I slid backwards down into one, and I was sliding backwards. So I was kind of propped up with my elbows, watching people come passing me. And I guess I sunk down into one and just absolutely destroyed my elbow. So
Ooh.
I was out for a while. I didn't really ride for the first half of 2022. Yeah, that's right. I was, I had surgery pretty much immediately. I think it was 2 weeks later I had surgery. I guess it's not immediately, but I had surgery, and I couldn't really use my hand. I couldn't grab a lot of things. I was dropping the cups. It was pretty big. So a lot of 2022 was just getting my strength back. I had a second surgery in May because my strength still wasn't where it needed to be. So they went in and they removed some scar tissue to kind of decompress that nerve. And 2022 was definitely a rebuilding year. I definitely had lost a lot of confidence, lost a lot of, I guess, drive for it too. I couldn't squeeze the brake. I went to a VIR South weekend, and I was getting so frustrated because I would go into a corner like slow, it felt like, and I would squeeze the brake as hard as I could, and I wouldn't stop. And it's because I just had no strength there. So it was a lot of being patient with myself. I had to learn how to be patient, and that was definitely a good growing opportunity for me. The strength's mostly back. It doesn't straighten out all the way, but I do have a gnarly scar on my right arm, and I think I learned a lot from that year. It's definitely something that if I had to go back and not break it, I wouldn't. I would break it again 100,
Yeah,
3 out of
for
3 times,
sure.
because
Yeah.
the things that have come from my life kind of resetting there is something that I wouldn't trade for anything. So yeah, then 2023 we decided to kind of try out the ZX a little bit.
I see her right there. She's beautiful
Yeah,
too.
she's right
Yeah, I
here.
see her. Yeah.
The R6, I'm a taller guy. I'm 6'1". I'm like 190 pounds. So the R6, we weren't willing to put a ton of money into a motor build. Basically like like a small super stock build. It was a head
Yeah.
gasket. So I was kind of struggling keeping up with these guys in the straightaways. So our thing was like, maybe we'll get a ZX, have a little help with the horsepower. And I ended up really liking the feel and the ride of the ZX. It's had its own challenges, but I think I've definitely improved as far as like addressing issues and how to solve problems with the bikes. I think the ZX has been kind of the key to me figuring that out, at least
Yeah.
for now. So I'm very happy with it, and I would absolutely stick with it if it wasn't going to be non-homologated with Motor America coming up in the next few years. I'm not really sure
Yeah.
when, but that's kind of what we've been hearing, is that if it's not fly-by-wire, it's not going to be legal.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Which brings a
but
whole nother expense into the game,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, we
it
were looking
really
at maybe a
does.
Gixxer, but like 15 grand for an electronics kit.
Yeah.
That's
My whole thing with that whole, man, it's like they haven't revised the GSXR in how many years now, right? It's like, I just, it's, and they're stopped making the R1, they're going to stop making, they don't make the
yeah.
GSXR 1000 anymore. It's like we're going back in time, really, right? MotoGP's talking about going back down to 800s, right? I mean, I say it like this: scrap all that, bring back the inline 750s versus the 1000cc V twins, and let's go back to the old school proper way of racing. Let's do 150 horsepower max and no electronic control, and let's get to it, right? Let's have fun. Let's lay the darkies. Let's do all that good stuff.
Well,
Uh,
I'll definitely say if I had to pick no electronics, I would say traction control at least. Like, give me traction control. I've high sided too many times to not have traction
okay,
control.
okay. I'll give
That's
you
just me,
traction control with 6 settings. That's it. You get 6
Yeah, well,
levels of traction
this one's
control.
at
That's
three
it.
levels. That's all I
Okay.
need is 3 levels. Like, just a little bit,
Okay.
But
That's
we'll look at the
perfect.
data and it kicks in at like maybe 5 or 6 times during the lap. Like, that's all I
Okay.
need.
That's perfect. And Jason Doss, what is up, my man? He says, "What's up, guys?"
What's up?
He says Nathan was fast back in the day on a Honda. Awesome. But so I'm a big fan of Kawasaki's. Obviously, that was my first street bike, right? Now, since then, I've had many ZX6. I've had 4 of them. My last one was a 2011 that I bought for $500. I actually traded a dirt bike for it, which I had
Oh,
$500 in.
it's pretty sweet.
Dude, it had 22,000 miles on it, I think. I put clip-ons, rear sets. That's what I do to every bike, right? Because I like you buy a stock bike, you don't have no adjustability. Even your stock clip-ons, they usually got that little prong in it where it slits up inside your triple tree, so you
Yep.
can't even move them forward, right? I'm the type of rider I hate when I sit on a stock bike. I feel like I'm this. I like them out a little bit, right, where I got leverage on it. But my favorite ZX6R I owned was my 05 636. Liquid plasma blue, man, that thing was absolute a hoot to ride. Like, I do third gear, clutch it up, no issue at all. I'd be 80 miles an hour going down the interstate, oh, this little 600, and be like, whoa, whoa. People are like, holy shit, dude. I'm like, dude, this is third gear. And they're like, I don't believe it. So I take off and be like, first, second, third, right? I'm like, come on, let's go, right?
Yeah.
65, 70, 80. I had to bounce on it, right? Bounce on the front clutch, and that thing would just be like, shoot, no problem, and just sit there and you on this little 600, and it was just that was my wife's favorite bike, by the way, too. Was that ZX6R, the 636 in general. Where the 2011, the performance wise, it felt just as fast. It had the mid range, but on top, man, shit, that thing was a rape date. It was faster than the 636 on top end for sure.
Mhm.
Um, but she didn't like the little seat because the 636, had this bigger seat where the 2011 had like the Ducati seats where they're this big,
Yeah,
right?
they're getting smaller and smaller.
Right. Like, it really is. But man, what a beautiful machine. I love the colors of your bike. Obviously
Appreciate it.
it's a lot like I like the greens, the pinks, the purples, the old
Yeah.
school Kawasaki colors, right? That's the whole deal with the logo. It's
Yeah, the new Yamahas are coming out with the kind of the same teal that I've been rocking, and it's I feel like the color is very unique. I
it
feel like I
is.
stand out. I think I have one of the best looking bikes in the grid personally. I think the
I say
colors.
so.
I just think I stand out way more than a lot of people. I think it's very unique. I absolutely love it. And when I
So
first asked for it, I actually asked for blue and red, and my suit came teal and red, and I was like, this is so much better. Thank you for this mistake. I absolutely love it. And so I
right.
kind of matched everything around that.
So who makes your leathers?
So 1X, I've been running with 1X for quite a while now. Um, I tried to re-up with them this year, and I just had issues getting in contact with them. So I did join an endurance team this year, and they are being sponsored by Plus. So our endurance team suits are Plus. So I'm going to get a chance to try out Plus Racing and kind of see how I like those. But I've absolutely loved the 1X. I would recommend it to anybody. It's people say they have issues getting new suits from other companies, fitting. I've never had an issue. I've ordered three suits now from them, all fit great, and they hold up great with some minor repairs. It's about all you can ask for a suit. So
Yeah.
yeah, I absolutely love 1X.
And they're all custom, right? You buy
Yep.
the custom ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kangaroo or cowhide?
Yeah, yeah. Once I went kangaroo, I don't think I'll go back to cowhide. Even though it seems like people tell me it slides a little better, cowhide slides a little better. It's so much more comfortable to wear kangaroo.
And lighter. It's
Yeah,
retarded.
exactly.
You pick up a kangaroo suit, you're like, it's like picking up. This is how I explain it to people. It's like picking up a stock rim off a motorcycle. Now they're actually pretty light. Let's take it back. I got an '03 RC51, right, and my 848 Ducati's got Forged Marchesini rims on it. So I pick up my Forged Marchesini rim. It's nothing. I go to pick up this RC51 wheel. When I changed the tires, I was like, holy shit, feels like a Harley Davidson wheel, right? So this is the difference between a cowhide suit and a kangaroo. Man, the weight difference is, you look at it on paper, it don't seem that much, but it's absolutely a lot.
Yeah.
It feels like it don't weigh you down as much, right? It breathes really well. But I also heard, I've never owned a kangaroo suit. I actually got a pair of kangaroo gloves made by Knox Hand Droids, which are one of my
I
favorite
have
pair
a
of
story
gloves I've
about
ever
those
owned.
actually.
Okay, well, let's hear it, because to me, dude, like, okay, so like, dude, I was retard, right? We go through our phases. So like, I'm into guns, right? So you go out and you go buy a gun. Of course, you got to buy a concealed carry holster, right? And there's 10,000 of them. So it's like you got to go through all these ones to find the right that's most perfect for you, that feels comfortable and all that, right? Um, Same kind of deal. So same thing with gloves. I go out and I buy these Dane Easy Full Metal jackets that Rossi wears, right? And they're okay, right? They're okay. Uh, my RS Tachis, they're my second favorite pair of gloves. It's like as soon as you put them on, they're like, oh my god, they're just, it fits like a glove, right? And then I seen the hand droids online, right? I kept seeing all this stuff about the hand droids, the BOA system, all this, right? And I was like, man, those are sweet, $250. Like anything else, let's try them. Absolutely love them. And I've had them for years. The only issue I have is that now my wrist cuff, the little Velcro strap right here, it started to come. I need to get it resewn. It's about getting about a half inch to where I need to get it. But other than that, it's been absolutely amazing gloves. Breathe well, light, kangaroo. They're Knox Hand Droids. Straight up, there you go.
Yeah. Those are the ones with they've got like little like black things that go on the back of each finger
Yep,
for you hyperextending, right?
yep.
Yeah, so I was riding a friend's bike actually, and it was cold. I went out for like first call. It was like 40 degrees. It was qualifying. I was being all stupid, but went on some Dunlops, and we ended up sitting for like 10 minutes waiting for first call. So I was like, I'm sure it's fine. So I went out, leaving pit lane. I high sided like crazy, and when I came down, my hands were all pretty beat up, but the black part of my pinky had came out of the channel, and so my pinky, like this part of my pinky, was kind of over here, and this bone was sticking out, and so because the thing came out, like I had no sideways protection, and so now
Yeah.
I won't wear any gloves that don't have
And
these two
the
fingers tied together.
Yeah.
Other than that, like I really enjoyed them, but just that one thing, seeing your bone sticking out is kind of freaky.
Scary, right? You're like,
Yeah.
oh shit, yeah. This is so. Listen, you're right. That's something. Who was it that started? Was that Alpine Star started that whole?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, right now, obviously everybody does it. I haven't seen. I got a couple mates over there in the UK, racing BSB that actually sponsored by Knox. And if I remember right, I think the newer ones do have some type of little bridge, but they still got the but it's not as big. So I have one of the original Knox Androids where yeah, there it's the big black. Yeah, it looks, dude, it looks like a Terminator hand. It's really cool. And people see me like, dude, those are the coolest gloves I've ever seen in my life, right? So yeah, but you're right. They're very comfortable. They breathe really well. It's I would take them on the street for sure. Track when you're racing on the track, or even on the street, you fall, you're still gonna break shit, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, that whole little pinky bridge between the two is absolutely imperative, right? It's almost like the speed hump, the water hump, all that stuff that evolved as gear got better, right? Absolutely, but dude, yeah, those are that and my RS Tachi are absolutely my Dayanese. I may be wear them once or twice a year, and it's cool. It's funny because I got that leather stuff you put on. It makes them all soft and supple, and I clean them and all this, right? But even after I do that, I won't even clean my RS Tachis or the Knox Handroids, right? And then I can let them sit for a month and come back and put them on, and they feel just as good versus the Dayanese ones. They're stiff almost when you first put them back on after a while. I don't know. It's just maybe it's just me. I don't know, right? But yeah, my thing with Alpine Star, man, is like I used to be a huge fan. I still am. I got a lot of Alpine Star stuff, but I bought a pair of, man, I saved up for a while. I got the cheap, man, they're like $400, whatever. They're top of line gloves, right, dude? I literally had them not even 6 months, and the whole stitching where they're together come completely undone. Like
Really?
just yeah, completely undone. So I ended up going. This was in 2011, and we was at the MotoGP race. So I brought him with me because I knew Alpine Star was going to be there. So I asked him. I said, "Hey, this is the issue. I've had my receipt." I was like, "Dude, this is my receipt. This is where I bought them from. Can you guys help me out?" And they're like, "Nope, you need to send them back off." And I'm like, "But you're here right now with all these gloves. Like, I don't get it, right?" And that kind of put me off to begin with, right? I'm
Yeah.
like, the customer support there, right? If I was there, I'd be like, "Yeah, absolutely. You got the receipt. I'll take care of you. Give me the gloves. Here's a new pair. Appreciate it. Sorry about the issues, right?" But since then, I don't buy Alpine Star leather suits. I don't buy Alpine Star gloves. I do have a brand new pair of the Super Tech R boots because they are absolutely some of the most comfortable boots you can buy for road racing, in my opinion, anyway. Um, but it's just like anything, Nathan. When it comes, you'll have your flaws with somebody will swear by whatever
Yeah.
brand it is, and somebody
Nothing
will have a
perfect.
bad experience. It's really not. I'm not listen. I'm not talking trash about Alpine Stars. I'm not talking trash about any of that. I'm just telling you, me and Nathan are just sitting here simply talking about our personal, issues and stuff that happened with them, and that's what's great about doing this too, is you talk about what's good for you might not be good for me, what works for you don't work for me, and vice versa. um Good stuff, man. ZX6R, dude, I'm digging those colors. Every time I look over the corner, dude, I dig those colors, bro. So once you got that mistake on your suit, you was like, this has got to be on my bike now.
Oh yeah, yeah. I got the suit, and I had my first motorway round was with the R6, and we painted it in home. We painted that blue and red, and it didn't, you couldn't really tell that it wasn't quite matching. But when I did get these graphics done, which they look absolutely amazing, by Justin Nilsson, uh, they yeah, I love that guy. They
Big
I sent
shout
him,
out.
like, I gave my suit. I was like, please match this because I love these colors. And there's been a couple different people, kind of come up with the colors I've seen, but I know me and one other person kind of got these colors at the same time. I think we were the first, Jamie Hester. Well, we were the first ones to kind of show up with these colors, so I say we own them a little bit, but
Yeah,
we definitely
absolutely.
don't own them. But
So what color is the rims on that bike?
so I like to race with the whites. I personally love the white color.
It
They get
offsets that. Yes,
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
just more pop.
Yeah,
I only have one set of white wheels, so it's usually, it can be black, but it's a mixture. If I'd like to paint them, but it's just not really something. It's not really a priority right now to get a
no,
set of rims painted, especially if we might be moving to something else in a different
right, right.
platform.
So you're in North Carolina. Where at North Carolina did you say you are right now?
Raleigh. Yeah.
Right, dude. I'm in Roanoke, Virginia, dude. You're literally like 2 hours away from me.
Hell yeah.
Dude, yeah, dude. You know what, dude? If we should have planned this. Next time we'll plan this better. If you're coming by, dude, you could just we can meet up and do it live somewhere together,
Absolutely.
right? We sit
That'd be
down,
cool.
yeah, yeah. You could have come by the house. We could have been sitting in this room right here, just doing it up. Yeah, that's cool, man. North Carolina, I like North Carolina. It's a cool state, man, for sure. So listen, racing expert, how'd your 2023 season go, man?
It went really good. I tried to shift some of my priorities around for 2023. Did a lot less club racing as I did 2021, 2022. It was more of kind of budgeting. Since I went back to school um, for nursing, I had to kind of put making money on the back burner. So I did support myself a large amount for a couple of years, and then when I went back to school, it was kind of back to being like, hey, Dad, can you help me out a little bit, and or help me out a lot of it, and
A
he's
lot of it. I love it.
yeah, and now that we're doing stuff at the level that we're doing, it's no longer like doing a track day every month. It's spending $3,000 at Moto America weekend. Trying to race. It's not like we can just it's not like I can ask him like, hey, I need a new set of tires for this session and this session only. It's more of like, how can I make what we have last? And he's always been very helpful, but he's never been one to say like, oh yeah, this is no big deal. Have all the money you want. No, it's of course not. I try to be fair with what I ask for, and now that I'm hopefully getting back into working, I can kind of jump back into it and cover myself again. But yeah, the 2023 season, it was a little bit of club racing. I got picked up um, to the Trash Panda racing team for the endurance series by Micah Hand and Jenny Hand. They've been absolutely amazing to me as far as being hospitable. A lot of times, I couldn't swing getting my bike and my gear down there to race on that weekend, so I would just drive my Honda Civic to the track with my suit in the trunk, and I would sleep in their RV. I think I did that for 3 rounds, and they would always cook for me. They would always just do everything, and I was very thankful for that. But we ended up, that was kind of like a test season for the team. It was the first season, and we ended up coming in third for the whole series, which is pretty sweet behind Top Box and Alpha
Absolutely.
Omega. So next year, we're getting the suits. I think we're making some roster changes a little bit to kind of get a more serious team, more, I guess, more committed to the series. And I'm very interested to see what we're going to do. I know personally for me, I plan to be faster at every single track because that's just a personal goal. Like I want to run average faster times. My first endurance, I was not quite physically ready. I kind of underestimated what I needed to be physically, as far as endurance goes. So um, that was a big challenge kind of at the beginning of the year. But besides that, I kind of met some of my Moto America goals. I did 3 rounds. I did Road Atlanta. I did Pittsburgh. I did Barber. So Road Atlanta, I got like 16th and 17th, either
Nice.
that or 17th and 18th. But it was like mid pack. The first year, 2022, I basically got last every single every single race.
Yeah, right.
But I kind of moved to the like mid pack. Beating a lot of privateers. Um, and learning a lot is the main thing. And then at Barber, the extended race, I got 12th, which is
Nice,
amazing.
dude. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. And my teammate Sean Hopkins, he got 10th, and it's just some like you make friends with these really fast guys that you kind of share things, you share setups, you share tire pressures. It's been really helpful. Um, but my squad for that weekend for the Barber weekend was I have 3 uncles there. 3 different uncles were able to fly in and help me, and it was just like a ragtag team. And our pit stop was 45 seconds, which is crazy for a rear tire change and
Yeah,
a fuel for people who had
that
to,
is.
for
That's
people who had never been to the
fast.
track before.
Right.
So I was very blessed that they were willing to come down and do that. And then Pittsburgh, sadly, I was doing really well. I was doing all PBs in the race, and I ended up losing control like midway through the race, and I got knocked out. And they
Oh
have a
no.
nice little clip of me in the first race, bouncing on the pavement and loading me into the ambulance, which I do not remember. But I was still, as much as even though I didn't get to finish the race, I was still very happy with my times. I think I've I've got a lot of potential for improving for this year. I wish they were back there again this year, but I guess Motor America has the reasons not to schedule Pittsburgh and
Yeah.
do Mid Ohio instead.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I think the biggest thing for me was the GNF. I did. I got some times that I didn't think I was capable of. A 30 flat at Barber um, on the ZX. I was very, very happy with that. I got a second place in one of the races. I think the biggest thing for me there is that I have such a close community of those top, C-class guys that, me, Rohan, Sid, Donovan Piper, we're all ZX guys. We're all comparing measurements in between races. I'm lending them springs. I let Donovan a wheel because he bent his in practice. It's just, this community is one of the reasons why I believe that, I can get faster. And then the reason why I love the sport so much is just the people in it. It's not just being on track. It's who I'm on track with. And these relationships that I built, it's, I absolutely love everything that I do about it. I could go on and on about all that stuff, but
Dude, yeah, me too, man. Absolutely. It's our sport, dude, in general, and the commodity that comes with it. Like when I met, dude, I've had a lot of people, junior cup guys, and on the podcast. And when I went to Jersey, I actually met them all, and it was such an honor. We had such a good time. That's where I met, obviously Ryan Wolf and Erica. Actually, with Erica's watching right now. What is up, Erica? Yes, we talked about your banana nut bread. We're
yeah,
looking
we talked
forward
about it
to
before
it.
going live.
Absolutely. It says, but you and Dad are our heroes. We would never have finished our first MA race without your help. I
I
mean,
remember that Road Atlanta.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And then my
we
friend Nathan Wicks. Oh,
yeah
sorry.
we got stationed like out of the paddock, way up, almost by the fan area. It was 3 levels. We were on the 4th level, and they put it next to us, and that's where we met them. And it was just kind of, I remember coming up after tech, and I was like, they're taking everybody, and they're like, they're taking everybody. So Erica went and got Ryan, and they like ran down there with their twin bike. It was, I remember all that stuff. It was and we've seen them at all the endurance rounds and all the motorway rounds past that. It's just friends that I'm so glad to have made that first round at Road Atlanta. It's
Yeah,
just like again, it's those relationships that you make. It makes the
it's
sport.
it is because I met Ryan and I gave my phone number and I'm walking out there in Jersey and I get this text message. He's like, "Hey, this is Ron. Come by my camper," right? And I was like, "All right, Dad," because my son, Hayden Rossi, that I named
Mhm.
him after Nikki Hayden and Valentino. I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go over here and go meet Ryan and his family or whatever." So, man, I walk over there and they were nothing but absolutely awesome people. I felt right at home. It was the whole weekend was just nothing but laughs and giggles. They were absolutely amazing. Ryan's amazing. I've had him on twice. Looking forward to seeing where he's going to go in his career. It's absolutely, yeah, great people. It's I never felt out of place. Like this is what I tell everybody, right? I never meet a stranger. We're not strangers. Even people that I've never met right now that are listening overseas, whether you're in Australia or the UK, whatever, none of us are strangers. We're just friends that haven't met yet, right? That's all it is. Um, and yeah, it's our communities just man, it's hard to describe and tell people the love and respect you get in the paddock, man. And
Yeah,
you need help. You're like, hey, I don't have this 43.2 sprocket. I'm in between. If somebody in that paddock's got your bike, they're like, here you go. No problem. I'll pay for it. Don't worry about it. Just give it back to me at the end of the weekend or just send it to me in the mail or whatever it is, right? It's that's one thing that our sport separates from any other sport in the world is that
yeah,
love and community and that mutual respect for everybody in the paddock, whether you are 3 seconds off the fastest guy or 10 seconds off the fastest guy, whatever help you need, or if somebody comes by and they see you struggling, they're going to stop and say, hey man, do you need some help? What's the issue? What's going on? Can I help? And boom, next thing you know, it's like best friends, right?
yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. We're not strangers.
The first race with the Kawasaki, apparently you have to have the side panels on the bike, which a lot of people don't run them because they break when you crash, and I didn't know, but for Motor America homologation, like you have to have these side panels. And so I come in after one of the qualifying sessions, and they're like, figure it out, or you're gonna get DQ'd. So
Figure it out, right?
I'm
Yeah.
panicking. I know this happened with other Kawasaki riders, but asking around, there was a guy who consider myself friends with now, Gary Ankowski. You know, I never met before. He's a fast Kawasaki guy, and he's like, yeah, I just had these painted. He's like, you can use them as long as you bring them back. And that kind of saved my weekend. You know, it's someone I'd never met before who's my competitor, who's willing to lend me something that I can compete. And you know, it's
And
stuff
potentially
like
kick
that.
his butt. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean,
yeah, it's yeah.
it's stuff like that all the time. I mean, I've talked to that same weekend. I talked to Mesa about his gearing because I couldn't figure it out. You know, it's and you know he's the top 3 and I'm finishing in the back. You know, it doesn't really matter. For me, it doesn't seem like it matters where you finish or how you are. It's just there's just support. You know, back and forth between everybody, and you know you can leave your phone wallet out on your table and go riding, and it's going to be there when you get back 100% of the time.
Dude, yeah, yeah, it's there's nothing. I try to explain it to my friends that, you know, I got a lot of friends that watch racing, but they're not a nutcase. I mean, look at my room, dude. Dude, I'm a full blown diehard. Like, I put you like this: if the government says we're getting rid of all 2-wheel racing, period, no racing, no motorcycles, no nothing, you might as well just hang me, kill me, or whatever, because I don't want to be here anymore. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just my love and my passion, right? It's yeah. And then Nathan Wicks, what is up, my man? He says, I remember that call. Glad you were okay. So you know Nathan?
It's probably the Pittsburgh thing.
Yeah, yeah, the
That popped up
Pittsburgh, yeah.
right after that.
Yeah, and then look, listen, Erica Wolf said the fork oil turkey pasta. Your dad
Oh
saved
yeah,
us all.
that's right.
Yeah,
We lent them
that's
a turkey
awesome.
baster for their fork oil. That was pretty funny.
Hey, it works,
It did
right? I
work.
mean, absolutely, it works. Yeah, yeah. And then my man Paul McKee, what is up, man? I can't wait to have a conversation with. He says nothing like the racing family. Listen, it's not. It's I go silent because, man, I don't know what to say. It's hard to explain to people out there that's never experienced that, the love within the paddock. I'm sure fans come up to the races, right? And they see everybody communicating and talking and laughing and giggling, right? But when you're actually competing in the paddock, right, and an issue comes up, you're surprised of all the love and support you get from everybody in the paddock. People you don't even know. I mean, there might be somebody, you know, everybody's not going to get along with everybody. That's just how it is, right? So you might meet somebody that you're parked right next to, but your vibes, your energy just don't match, right? But you might see him struggling and you'll walk over there and be like, hey, you know, I see you. Can I help you? And next thing you know, dude, all that's gone. You're like best friends by the end of the weekend, calling and texting and dude, yeah, all that good stuff. It's very rare you can go anywhere else that I've never um seen in any other community of sports that I've ever been involved with. Yes, you get love and support from other people in other sports, right? But absolutely nothing like twos. What I always say, them twos, boy. That's it. That's
There's
the
the
balloon.
balloons.
You see
There's
that?
the
Yeah.
balloons.
So I guess you got to do.
It's the peace sign. Is that what it is?
I guess. I don't know. It's weird
I still
how
can't figure it out. That's weird.
yeah, I figured that one out, right? So well, okay, there you go.
go.
That's for everybody. But yeah, it's Nathan, you're right. I can't even talk now. I'm stumbling. Nothing like it, man. It's I can't wait to go back. So my next question for you is, Nathan, are you going to be in Road Atlanta this year?
I am. Yes.
Dude,
Yep. I will
bro.
be.
So I will be there too. I'll be with Erica and Ryan and them. So yeah, we are definitely gonna get together. I'm a hugger, by the way. So I might see you. You don't know. I'm gonna come straight up from the back and be like, "Boom, Big Bear! What is up, bro?" Yeah. I would love to do a live podcast with you while we're out there in Road Atlanta too, man. We'll get together and yeah, we're gonna have so much fun. I can't wait to meet everybody down there in Atlanta. It's gonna be good. So listen, 2023 was really good for you. 2024. What's happening in 2024, Nathan?
Yeah. So 2024. I think again, we're still discussing my priorities because I am graduating. I don't know how. Yeah, I know. I'm so excited.
When you graduating?
May 4th.
Dude, may the 4th be with you. Star Wars,
exactly.
dude. I love it. I love it. That's my birthday month is May 18th is my birthday.
That's the day before my birthday. Is my birthday
dude,
5th, so
bro. Dude, we're like brothers from another mother's. Like
exactly,
I said,
yeah.
we're not strangers. We're just friends that haven't met yet. That's all it is. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so I don't know how time off is going to work working in a hospital as a nurse. I don't know how all that's going to work. So I'm very hesitant to plan heavily. Um, Chances are, like, I can make every single weekend I want to based on how these interviews are going and how they're, how they're saying their scheduling works. But I just, I don't want to plan something way ahead and commit to it without, fully knowing. So
Yeah.
I do know that endurance with Trash Panda Racing will be my top priority. I'm going to be making every single weekend for them, whether it's taking the Civic again, preferably not, preferably taking my bike and maybe racing the rest of the weekend. But, it still might be something like that. But um, after that, I plan on doing Verdaland and Barber for sure, and either Road America or Mid Ohio. It's going to depend. Now that you need points to keep your two-digit number, I'm going to try to get points in those first 2 rounds because I'm not sure I can get it at Mid Ohio or Road America. But with all these new teams coming in, that getting a top 15 spot is seeming like a pretty lofty goal, but it is a goal of mine. So it'll be interesting if I can get some points this year. If I can't get points, as long as I improve, I'll be happy. As long as I do better than I did last year, I'll be happy. Um, but yeah, it's definitely still very in the air. Like club racing, I have no idea what I'm doing for club racing. I
Yeah.
would like to do club racing. I absolutely love club racing, but as far as committing to weekends, I can't do it yet. There's still too much unknowns.
Yeah.
Um, but I definitely will be doing endurance, and I'll definitely be doing at least 3 rounds. Definitely those first two, and the third one's kind of in the air.
Yeah, listen, I applaud you, man. We touched base on this before the podcast started, man. Bravo, dude. Graduation, being a nurse is not an easy thing to do. Like, dude, I couldn't do it, man. That's not something. That's not me, dude. Absolutely not. It's. I got friends that do it. My wife, my wife, she worked at Korean Hospital out here in Roanoke, Virginia for like 11 years. She's like, oh, I watched this surgery. She's watching this shit on her phone. I'm like, gross. What are you watching? She's like, check this shit out. I was like, well, no, absolutely not. Right. She's all into that shit. Right. So,
Yeah,
she'd come home and she's like, oh, this and that, and doing this and doing that. And I'm thinking to myself, absolutely not. I applaud anybody in that physician. It's, dude, again, bro, because being a nurse, there's a lot of hard work that goes in that. A lot of years of school, a lot of hard work, right? It
yeah,
is. And for you to do that, man, nothing but much love to you, man. We need
appreciate
more people
it.
like you in this world,
Yeah,
right? I know there's a lot, but there's something saying between your average nurse and then finding someone that actually cares about their patients all the time, no matter the circumstance, right? And that's rare. And as far as you're not making your points, bro, you got this. Absolutely, you got this. It's not an issue. You
yeah.
got
It's
this,
just
Nathan.
not about the points. It's about improving. So,
It is, it is. But but the number one thing, what is the number one thing in this? Having fun. If you're not
oh,
having fun,
that's easy.
yeah, if you're not having fun, you're not going to improve on anything. You'll be mad,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
pissed off the whole time, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
dude, that is absolutely amazing, dude. A nurse, again, bravo, because that's not me. Like if my
Yeah.
wife's bleeding, I'm like, can you call your friend? That's bad, right? Can you call your friend? Versus, like I said earlier, if I'm bleeding, I'm like, check this out, right? Like this is
Yeah.
okay. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well,
I guess I'm just weird.
I think one of the biggest things about nursing that makes you a good nurse is like not just being able to handle that stuff, is about being like um what's the word? Being
Calm.
a but being a source of calm in people's, frantic anxiety inducing injuries, coming to the ED, I'm sure lots of these people, if people who are watching have been in the ED a lot as racers, you start to learn, what type of personality, what type of nurse, what type of doctor makes your stay worse, makes your stay better, who increases your anxiety, what makes you feel better. So I am applying for the ED for that reason. Is I want to be a source of calm for those people who come in. They're all frantic. You, a lot of times you don't know what's going on. You're afraid, and sometimes you just need somebody to be like, look, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna survive. You'll get past this. And I want to be that source of calm that I've had in the past and that I
Yeah,
haven't had in the past. I think that's something that I feel like I can really really do for people. And so
that's
that's one of the reasons why I'm so excited to get into it.
That's listen again. I just got done saying exactly what you said. That's again, bro. It's yeah. It's funny because when like when panic situations come up, I find my weirdly oddly of this. Like I find like I'm super super calm. I don't know what it is, man. Like the world could be blowing up, and I'm just over here like, cool. Let's just look at
Yeah.
the positives. Like we got to get over here for this, But it's just I don't know what it is. Like I remember my first major wreck I got on the street on a motorcycle. I ended up breaking my knee. Right, I didn't fully break my knee. What happened was I was in jeans, but I went in this left hand corner. It's nighttime. I didn't see the gravel front end washed out. Right, so I went did the whole tumble thing. Went to go stand back up to go pick up my bike. I felt this pain. And when I looked down, I just seen blood just like right out my leg. I was like, well, this is cool, right?
Yeah.
So I get to the ER. What happened was it moved my kneecap out the way. So where your two knees join, I had a hairline crack in my top one, right? Which was
Okay.
not fun. It hurt like a son of a bitch. I didn't feel it right then, right? But all the all that shit you go through. But dude, my cousin, he was fucking flipped out. He's like, "Oh my god, we gotta call down this and that." And I'm over there like, I'm like, "Dude, we're good." He's like, "Dude, you're fucking bleeding everywhere. You're gonna bleed out all this." I'm like, "Bro, calm down. We're good." He's like, "How are you so calm right now?" I'm like, "Honestly, I
You
have
know what I
no
think it
idea.
is? I think it's racing. You get used to people like flying up on the inside of you. Like you have to stay calm. Like
You
you
got
learn how to
to."
stay calm in these like crazy
Yes,
situations. You're going in 4 wide into turn one on the first lap of the race. Your heart rate can't change. Or else you're gonna make an adjustment and crash. I think you learn to stay calm in these stressful
it's
situations. So
it is.
maybe maybe that's where I got it from. But
Yeah, I mean, it could be again, man. Yeah. So, Erica, Joseph Ray, first of all, thank you, Joseph. What an honor. Thank you so much for all your love and support. He said, "Let's get it, Chris. You grind like no other." Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's an absolute honor. Absolutely. Erica Wolf says, "Graduation. Absolutely so awesome, right?" Yes, yes. And then Paul McKee again, my man says, "Awesome aspiration, Nathan. People definitely need that calm presence. Good luck this year, brother. Pulling for you."
appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And listen, again, if anybody's watching this, I should have said this earlier, but me and Nathan's just been going at it back and forth. If anybody wants to come in live on this podcast, dude, just shoot me a message on Facebook Messenger. I'll bring you in. You can ask Nathan or me a question live. And yeah, we can go on to the next one, which is, yeah, pretty cool. But dude, that 15, whatever you're talking about, the points, dude, you got this, Nathan. I can't wait to see you in Road Atlanta. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Such a good time. And as far as your ZX6R go, what year is that thing?
It is
2020.
it's a 2013, but I have to say
They haven't
2018.
changed. Yeah,
Don't
that
tell me, but it's a
no.
2018. It's got a 2021 motor in it. It's just got an old frame.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's basically a 2021 because of the motor. That's really the main thing.
yeah,
But yeah, it's got the 2013 to 2018 kind of style, the parts. But yeah, I mean it handles great. We just got it back from Mike at KWS, and it's actually now with Kendall. This is the B bike. It's with Kendall. We're getting potentiometers this year,
oh,
so
nice.
we're gonna be doing a lot of data. I think that's kind of my biggest roadblock right now is kind of knowing how to get from 3 seconds off the top time to the top time is it's just sort of small adjustments. It's no longer something big.
Yeah,
It's going to be keeping up with data and really making sure I'm doing everything to the max.
yeah, that's a whole nother side of the sport
Oh
you
yeah,
gotta learn, right? Now you gotta sit down on the computer and look at all the wiggly lines, like and look at this wiggly line, yeah, and all that
yeah.
good stuff. But
And now you can
that's
see
part
probably,
of it.
probably see why my dad's willing to step back. He's an electrical engineer. He works for Lenovo, so I guess he's kind of used to looking at a lot of these electrical graphs. But that would be something kind of intimidating for me to race and look at these things. So I'm definitely blessed to have him kind of able to
Got you.
look at
Yeah.
these things and be like, hey, here's where you're lacking. You're hitting your brakes too early in Charlotte's Web, which I always do. It's just
Yeah.
things like that I think is going to help me progress this year.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I thought so. My old laptop was actually a Lenovo. I had to look at my other old laptop, which is HP. Um, which took a shit on me, man. Like I almost like I was setting up for this podcast, and bro, I go to turn it on, and like you go to do your password, and the whole screen just kept going like this, and I was like, dude, what is going on? I powered down, powered back up, took the battery out, all that crap, and I was like, you know what? So I stole my wife's laptop. That's what I'm doing this on. So thank you, wifey, for letting me use your laptop because I got to get either mine fixed or buy a new one, right? So
Mm.
yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff, dude. Listen, bro, what a story, Nathan. Man, you got a lot to juggle, man. So let me ask you this. Not all racers, but I always ask this question to every racer, right? And every racer to me is a legend. Absolute, you're a legend, bro. So, uh, how do you mentally prepare yourself for a race weekend? And on top of that, do you have any rituals you do, right? Like do you have lucky underwear, a pair of socks you gotta wear? You gotta have these socks, right? Do you have anything like that?
Um, the only thing I really do before each race is just kind of shoot up a quick prayer. I don't really do any rituals. I don't really believe in that kind of lucky stuff.
Right.
So I don't have anything like that. As far as preparing, I just try to hydrate is the main thing.
Yeah.
Um,
And be calm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, remaining calm is very difficult. My very first Moto A race, I ended up throwing up on Thursday because I was so anxious, and it's gotten better. It's not it's not a
Yeah.
solved problem, but it's definitely it's staying calm is hard, especially like sitting on the grid
Yeah.
is so nerve wracking. But as soon as you get going, it's just your anxiety kind of goes away, and you just put your head down and do what you've been doing for years.
Having fun and smiling under that helmet. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's it. It's funny, man, because I did when I first started riding and like really started getting into track days and actually being decently fast. Like dude, I dabbled in road racing. I mean, let's just be honest, dude. Our sport's so expensive. Even back then, dude, I started late. Getting into track days. I did a couple endurance races when I was in Phoenix. I raced for CCS. The best I ever did was seventh out of a 30-minute, 45-minute, what they called an endurance race, right? At the time instead of a sprint race at Phoenix International Raceway, which is a crazy track because they're main straight. When you come out of the last left hand corner, I forget the turn 14 or whatever it was, you actually go on the drag strip straight, and there's a metal plate right in the middle of it. So you either got to go wide or you got to cut it. You got to come out the last corner. You either go wide so you can cut in to miss the plate, or you come in early so you can go out wide and still miss the plate. You can never hit that last apex just right to come out where you really wanted to be because of that. It was a crazy track back in the day,
Really?
right?
That
Yeah,
sounds
dude.
crazy.
It was, bro. It really was. But man, I had so much fun. But yeah, I remember pulling up. It was like my second, the first time I didn't really feel sick to my stomach, but the second time was like this overwhelming kind of anxiety and like all this pressure. And I'm sitting there with two of my buddies and this girl I was dating at the time, and all of a sudden we're talking, and I was just like, "Give me 1 second." And I was just like Ralph all over the place, right? Like my name is Ralph. I felt better afterwards, but I did that several times. The next couple of times I came, and it was obviously just the tension, the anxiety, right? It's to me, it's life's a journey, racing's a journey, right? It's not the destination. It's everything leading up to that is the best part of that journey, right?
Yeah.
It's yeah, I think it was the same thing, just overwhelming, I guess is what it was. But after a couple times, that didn't really bother me. In order for me to get my mind right, like even now, right? So I ride on the street still, obviously. Uh Before I go out, I don't really, I guess you could call it a ritual. Um I like to listen to Frank Sinatra. Dude, I love
Okay.
Frank, right? So I put on some Frank Sinatra. If I don't put on Frank Sinatra, I do. So I do the Wim Hof method, the Iceman, right? Where you do that deep breathing, right? And then you
Mhm.
get in an ice bath and you do all that stuff. I find that breathing and kind of like semi meditation, because really to really meditate, you got to spend a long time sitting in one place and doing the whole zen and getting into it, right? But I like to be I don't really like to talk to a whole lot of people when I'm getting ready to go out. I like to be in my own head and clear it, right? And just just kind of be at peace, right? And if I do listen to music, it's usually not real hype music. It'd be Frank Sinatra. But if I did listen to anything hype, I would probably put on the movie 300 with my man Leonidas because I love the Spartans, right? And I'd watch a couple scenes of the movie and just be, oh, let's go, right? And get all that adrenaline pumping. But I find that I did better if I wasn't so hyped up and my adrenaline wasn't pumping because that's wasted energy, right? So it takes away from me being out there trying to extract because I'm already, you know it. I mean, you race, right? So you use so much energy on the track. It's unbelievable. Like you'll come back and you're just completely wiped out. Like I could take a nap for 2 hours, right? Yeah, absolutely. Give me a couple bananas, apple, and let me take a nap. Yeah, so I get you. I get you on that whole nerves throwing up thing. Yeah. And so I learned too when I did it, I was like, no, I'm not eating. I got about an hour and a half. I do not want to eat because I already know the outcome's going to be. I'm going to puke it right back up.
Yeah,
So what's
yeah. I
the
don't I
point?
don't eat
Yeah.
a good chunk before.
No,
Yeah.
no. I hydrate water. I'm a big water drinker anyway. So I didn't grow up drinking soda.
Yeah, me neither.
I got bad ADHD and I don't take Adderall. I don't take any man-made. Dude, if I got a headache, which is very rare, I drink water. Right? I don't even surgeries. They give you all those pills to take. Man, I don't want them. I just deal with it. Right? I don't want to do nothing with that. So my ADHD was real bad back then. It was Ritalin. My parents were like, "Nah, hell no." So I didn't get. Of course, I still got soda every once in a while, but it's not nothing like today, right? So I didn't grow up drinking it. And funny enough, like right now, if I was to take like my son and my wife, they drink Dr. Pepper. So if I was to take a Dr. Pepper and I would take 2 sips of it, within a minute, I literally got to pee like that. I mean, that's how quick it is on me. Sweet tea, lemonade, all that does that to me. Water, drink gallons of water a day, no problem. As soon as I drink soda, lemonade, sweet tea, even coffee, it's immediately got to go to the bathroom, which is kind of funny, right? In a way, maybe I don't know. Maybe there's just something wrong with me. I don't know, but yeah, Nathan, that's cool, man. It's cool that you achieved what you achieved, and I'm proud of you. It's awesome, right? And I hope that you achieve whatever goal you have in your mind as far as road racing goes. I hope you achieve that 4 times over. Absolutely, right?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Um, and as far as your career goes, dude, again, bravo. I absolutely admire you for that. And thank you so much for serving us regular people when we get hurt coming to the hospital, man. That's very big, dude. It really is. But yeah, dude. So 2024 is going to be awesome. We're going to meet at Road Atlanta. I cannot wait. So listen, I want to get away from all this motorcycle talk, and I want to talk about what Nathan does to relax away from everything. Right. So this is my favorite part of the interview. And I want to start it out by what is your favorite movie, Nathan, of all time?
Gosh, I don't watch a lot of movies, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
I really don't. I also have I have ADD, so I have trouble
Okay.
kind of making it through a movie unless it really has my
Gotcha.
attention. Gosh, if I had to pick one, nothing comes to mind as far as favorite movie. I watch a lot of TV shows. I watch a lot of animes. I really enjoy like the cartoony stuff. I feel like you can kind of get more action packed in a cartoon just because you can draw a lot, draw a lot
Yeah.
more than you can do with special effects. But
Yeah.
as far as movie goes, gosh, I honestly had nothing popping in my head right
That's
now.
okay. That's okay. We can come back. So as far as anime, I like anime too, right? So of course I love all the Disney movies, right? All the Pixar and all that, man. There's absolutely amazing movies. I'm like you, right? Like I can make it through a movie, but you got ADD, I got ADHD. So this is my issue, Nathan. Like I could, and it's funny when I podcast, it's like I'm so in tune. I don't think anything else but right here in this moment, right? But I'll leave here and I'll go in there and I'll go watch a TV show with my wife and my son, and 10 minutes into it, I done forgot what the hell is even going on because even though I'm watching the movie or the TV show, my mind is not watching the TV show. I'm thinking about the World
You're
Superbike
just looking
race
at the
this
screen,
weekend.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Nothing's
thinking about the
recording. You're
World
just looking.
Superbike. Yes, dude. I'm thinking
Yeah.
about the podcast coming up tomorrow. I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about this. And then I'll watch like a series and I'll get through the first season, and the second season will start, and they'll do a recap, and I'm like, I don't remember any of this. Like, I feel like I got to go back and rewatch the first season
Yeah.
just to know what I'm going on in the second. That's my issue, right? So, yeah, I'm a little yeah, crazy like that. But so my favorite movie, if I had to pick one favorite movie, man, there's so many good ones, but I would have to say Top Gun, the original Top
Oh,
Gun, because that's what
yeah.
my dad did. And yeah, aircraft carrier, fighter jets, dude, GPZ 900 motorcycles, the women, dude, come on, man. How can you not love that movie? Jets, like, yeah, it's but other than that, like my favorite documentaries would be like Faster, The Fastest, the Doctor, the Texas Tornado, the Kentucky Kid, all those kind of
Mhm.
uh on any Sunday. That's besides Top Gun, on any Sunday is absolutely one of my favorite movies. So speaking of that, are you watching anything cool on Hulu or Netflix or anything you could recommend to anybody?
Um, well, so I guess my favorite show is Demon Slayer right now, and they're coming out with a movie tomorrow. And usually the movies for animes are just like the last like hour and a half of the series that they showed last season in like a new 30 minutes. But I mean that's one of the go-to shows right now if you're kind of into the whole genre of anime. So if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. But it is on Netflix actually. Uh, so yeah, I would go watch that. You know, if you're not into cartoons, I get it. It's definitely not for everybody. But you know, don't judge it before you try it.
Don't judge a book by its cover. Listen, I love cartoons. I'll sit there and I'll watch cartoons. Dude, you know
Yeah,
what? Well, my favorite cartoon was growing up was Popeye. Dude, I love
Popeye.
Popeye so much, dude. That's what got me eating spinach when I was a little kid. I'd see Popeye eat spinach. So I'd go to my mom and be like, hey, I want some spinach, mama, because it's gonna make me strong like Popeye, right? And so back in the day, they sold Popeye spinach, right? I forget the brand, but it had Popeye on the can, right? With
Mhm.
his big forearm. So yeah, that's what started my love for spinach. To this day, I absolutely love spinach.
Yeah,
Like not canned spinach, okay, people, fresh spinach. I go to the grocery store, buy the fresh spinach, the olive oil, the garlic, the crushed red pepper, the whole nine, right? Um,
yeah.
Absolutely amazing. So listen, I love books. I don't read. I'm an audiobook listener, just like a podcast, right? When I'm at work, throw my earbuds in, put on a book. But again, I have this same trouble, Nathan. I'll listen to a chapter of a book, and I don't forgot what that chapter was about, and I'm like, I don't remember him talking about this in that last chapter. So the book that I'm almost done with is Guthner, the guy that ran the Haas team in F1,
Okay.
which was good. The book before that was Matthew McConaughey, The Green Light. Dude, that was an amazing book. Absolutely amazing book. Um, so do you like audiobooks or read or
Um, I I don't read. I do a lot of podcasts. I have the same issue as where like yeah, I'll read a page and then I'll be like, what just happened? You know, I have to reread the whole page, and I'll reread
yeah,
it again, and I'll think about like, can I have to reread this whole page, and then I'll get to the bottom of the page and be like, wait, I just did it again. You know, I'll have to go back to the top. It's frustrating. Yeah, so it's usually like podcasts where there's not really a like podcasts. Some podcasts will tell stories. You know, the crime podcasts, which those are great for times, but I need something that kind of bounces off the walls a little bit. You know, doesn't really have a backbone to it, but you know, has a subject, but not really a set way to do it. So it kind of
right.
keeps pull my attention back to it. But yeah, that's mainly what I listen to. You know, there's a podcast called Truckle Sandwich, which is just two guys kind of bullshitting and for an hour, and I enjoy it. It's fun to listen to. Um, but yeah, that's as far as reading goes. I don't do a lot of reading.
Okay. Okay. Well,
I
me neither.
read my textbooks a lot. I will sit down
For
and do that
school, of
because
course.
you
Yeah.
need to for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So, yeah, man, listen, I listen to a lot of podcasts too. Obviously, I never dreamed I'd be podcasting, but here I am, and I fucking absolutely love it. But I do, man. I don't. I listen to some true. My wife's a big true crime listen to a lot of podcasts. The one that Let me see, which one was it? My buddy actually turned me on to that I work with. They're like, oh my God, you gotta listen to this, murder mystery podcast. And I'm like, I don't want to listen to a murder mystery podcast. Come on, man. But I did. It's called Case File. And the one I listened to was on the Jonestown murder with Jim Jones, where he made everybody drink that Kool-Aid back in the day and all that,
Hmm.
shit that went on. But what I found very interesting, it had me so gripped into it. Like I actually listened to the whole thing. I was like, holy shit. Like I remember like, yeah, like this is all right here. What's your favorite podcast you listen to?
It's probably that Truckle Sandwich podcast. You
You
know,
listen to any
it's one.
motorcycle
It's one.
podcast?
I don't really consume a lot of motorcycle media. Um,
I gotcha.
it's one of those like I prefer to do than listen. I do enjoy watching the races, but it's again, it's unless there's a lot happening, sometimes I have issues paying attention. You know, it's just how it
Yeah, me
is.
too. This
Um,
guy right
but
here. Yeah.
uh, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's just one of the it's one of the podcasts I like. It's usually follows some Twitch streamers. I don't know if you heard of Twitch
Yep.
and streamers, but I'll follow some of those people just because it's like a weird reality show sometimes. It's just funny, you know.
It is. It
It's
is.
not something I spend a lot of time doing, but if I have nothing to do, I'll toss it on while I
Go
do
in.
something or
Yeah.
play with my dog, you know.
Dude, I'm an animal lover. I got 2 dogs myself. Absolutely, dude. I absolutely love dogs. I'm a big animal person. I think everybody in the world would be better if they had an animal, for
Yeah,
sure. Um,
100%.
uh, so music. I listen to, obviously I done told you I'm a huge Frank Sinatra, and people were like, what the hell are you listening to? I'm like, dude, this is Frank Sinatra. You kidding me right now? But I can listen to, I'm that type of person. I can go from Frank Sinatra to Bob Marley to Young Dolph to dude, you name it, Red Hot Chili Peppers. I mean, I'm all over the like ADHD. I'm all over the place on the spectrum when it comes to music. So what do you like?
Yeah, so I recently got into the rave EDM scene. So I've been going to a lot of shows with a lot of lasers, a lot of lights, a lot of high people. You know, it's it's a whole other world
It
in a
is.
show where there's just so much going on, and the music kind of you feel the music in your chest. I've always kind of been an electronic fan, but I've never really gone to the shows. And I highly recommend just even if you're not an electronic fan, like just going to a show. Like it's unbelievable the experience that you get. Um, and don't let people fool you. Like you don't have to be tripping balls to
No,
enjoy these shows. Like
no.
the music's good, the lights are good, the visuals are good. It's you can go to have a good time just by yourself. You know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I will listen to some of the like the dubstep stuff before if before maybe a stint if I'm really trying to get in the zone. But I'll mostly play like bassy electronic music. It's not really a lot of and it's not really a popular genre. You know, if I play music with my parents, I'm usually playing I have like a rock playlist I'll play, like an old school rock playlist, or um, I'll pick some people pleaser music, but you know, my heart belongs to the
The ten
electronic stuff. A
do
little
like
bit, yeah.
yeah, I like it too, man. It puts you in the mood, man, for sure.
It does, yeah.
I've been to a bunch of raves, yeah. I mean, when I was young, yeah, eating shrooms and doing that whole thing. Yeah, I mean, it's uh yeah, it is a lot of fun. I had actually seen a video my buddy posted of a rave that he went to. I think it was in North Carolina not too long ago. And it was awesome. I was like, dude, this light show is just intense. The whole music, it was I like that stuff too, man. I don't listen to it very much. I used to listen to, man, I'm trying to remember when you said bass. There used to be those, you remember back in the day they had bass CDs, right?
Mhm.
Just solid, just bass. You put them in there. One was called Mike something. And man, I'd put that thing in and it just down that bass. I'd be sitting in my bedroom with the walls were shaking, and my dad's like, cut that shit off. You're rattling all the dishes out of the cabinet. I'm just like, turn it up even louder. Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's good stuff. Good. So I always ask this: Star Wars or Star Trek?
My family loves Star Trek, so I've probably seen a lot more Star Trek than Star Wars. Um, So, but I never watch it with them. You know, I always see them watching it, never watch it with them. I'd probably have to pick Star Wars, just because that was much more like, you know, I kind of grew
Cooler.
up more
Yeah.
around it
Yeah.
than Star Trek. Star Trek kind of happened before my time, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, you know, they're still coming out. I'm not sure they're still coming out Star Wars movies, but they did come out with some
Absolutely.
fairly
Yeah.
recently. At least it feels like recently.
Oh, they
Um,
absolutely they are.
but yeah, I'll say Star Wars.
So, what Star Wars character would you be? I would be Darth Vader.
Oh
Anakin
God,
Skywalker, Darth Vader. What Star Wars character would you be, and what color would your lightsaber be?
I want to say teal, like the teal
Dude, teal
lightsaber.
would be dope, dude. For real,
That would be
I'd want a
cool.
silver one, like a silver lightsaber. I think it'd be
Ooh,
cool as shit,
that'd be
dude. Right?
spicy. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
dude.
that.
Really, it'd be different. So, what character would you be? I'm Darth Vader, Anakin. Who'd you be with a teal lightsaber?
Um, I'll be General Grievous. You know, I'm
Ah,
juggling a lot of
dude,
things.
General Grievous, dude. What a pimp he was. Four lightsabers, four hands. I was like, who is this guy
Yeah.
right here? Yeah. So I love to cook, Nathan. I get it from my mom. I grew up, my mom always cooked home cooked meals, right? And she never thought I paid attention. And then when I got married and had a kid, we were in the kitchen together one day. I'm like, this and that, and this and that. She was like, holy shit, you actually know how to cook. Like, you fucking paid attention for once in your life. You paid attention to me, right? Yeah, one of those
Yeah.
kind of deals. So, man, I love to cook, man. I do my homemade I do homemade marinara sauce. I make homemade salad dressings. I don't buy store-bought salad dressings. Dude, I make I don't make noodles from scratch because that's just too much fucking work. I can go down there and pay $1 and buy a pound of noodles, right? And I'm good. But for the most part, I love to cook, and I like to do, cook cook meals, whatever it is. So, do you like to cook? And what is
I
your
love to cook.
favorite food? Yes,
Yeah.
dude, me too.
Yeah, I as I've gotten more, I guess, competitive with the racing thing, I've tried to get better into fitness and meal prepping. And gosh, I started using a lot of Greek yogurt, and for like a year, I didn't realize that vanilla Greek yogurt and like plain Greek yogurt was different. So I'd always put vanilla Greek yogurt in like chicken and rice, and it always had this weird taste. And I couldn't figure out why, but I was using vanilla Greek yogurt for like an entire year until I figured out there's a difference. You know, something stupid like that. But yeah, I do a lot of meal prepping. My favorite food, I probably have to say, is honestly snow cones. Kind of
Dude,
out of the left field, but I've
that's
always been like an
awesome.
icy kind of guy. You know, I own a snow cone machine, and sometimes I'll have two or three, you know, if I'm really craving it. But yeah, that's got to be my guilty pleasure.
That's absolutely awesome. So, dude, I love spicy food, right?
Oh, I love
So,
spicy food. Yeah,
oh, bro. Okay, so check it out. Do you watch the hot ones on YouTube?
I don't, but I've heard of it.
Okay, well, it's cool, man, because this guy sits down, he interviews mega superstars, and he's got 10 chicken wings from like your standard to like 3 million Scoville plus hot sauce. And he interviews the guys as they eat them, right? So I'm hooked on that show. I watch it all the time and I actually ordered the hot sauces. So I got a lot of them. And I eat the last dab, which is
Yeah,
their
I
hottest
have that
one.
hot sauce as well. Yeah,
Dude, yeah, dude. Listen, I tell everybody, I'm like, look, the last dab, it is hot. It's not for your average heat guy, but if you love spice, it's got a really good flavor. Am I
yeah.
lying, dude? It's got a really good flavor.
Yeah, I got the very first batch of the last dab they released. I was able to snag one, and I got another bottle recently, and I guess the textures, it's more liquidy now than it used to be. Like
It
the first
is,
bottle,
yeah.
it was a
It was
paste.
thick,
You know,
yeah,
it was like, I think it said 93% pepper. You know,
yeah,
it was almost, you basically had to like kind of like scoop it out almost.
yeah. You're
But it has
like the
this
ketchup
amazing,
bottles,
yeah, it
yeah,
has like an amazing flavor.
yeah,
But you just need like a pea size for a whole bowl of food.
yeah.
And I don't know why they changed it to, I guess, more of a hot
Liquid,
saucy type
yeah.
of sauce instead of a paste. But I mean, I don't know. It's whatever you got to do, right? But I still have both bottles, and I definitely visit that bottle every now and then for a little kick. But
Dude,
yeah, I love spicy stuff. Jalapenos, habaneros. I make tuna
dude, me
salad now
too.
with habaneros. Like
Yeah, it's good.
I love
Dude,
it.
the heat, dude, me too. So the hottest shit I ever ate was, dude, my buddy's like, oh, you gotta try this, one chip challenge. And I'm like, dude, that ain't shit, but bring it to me. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. That ain't hot. So he was on a mission. He's like, burn his ass. I'm burning Simcoe up. I'm gonna make him throw up, cry, scream, kick, and the whole nine. Right? Run through. His goal was you're gonna take all your clothes off, run through the parking lot butt naked, sweating to death, crying, throwing up, this whole thing. Right? This is where I'm gonna get you. So he buys me the Death Nut, which was like 13 million Scoville peanuts. So I'm not gonna turn it down. Fuck yeah, let's go. Let's do this challenge. Mistake, bro. It was absolutely the hottest, most intense shit I've ever tried. It was so like when you first eat it, it's not that bad. And then all of a sudden it felt like Nathan, you pulled my tongue out and took an ice pick and just did this and then poured gasoline and Vaseline and then set it on fire and let it go like a cartoon where it extracts back down, right? But the heat stopped about here. I felt it all just here, not going down. And then it intensified. And I was like, I'm snot coming out my nose, my eyes are watering, like I'm getting ready to puke. I don't puke, but you're just salivating so much, right? Because it was so hot. And then something weird happened. I went completely numb. I've never had this feeling. Like my whole face just went numb. And it was almost like this euphoria high that I've never felt before. It was actually wonderful. But then about 45 seconds after that, it was gasoline right again and let it go back. Yeah. And then, but what it did is it messed my taste buds up for almost 2 weeks. I mean, it absolutely destroyed them to where I would go eat something. Like really the only thing I could really taste was lemon, fresh lemon. If I took fresh lemon, put it, because I drink a lot of water, but secret, I squeeze fresh lemon in my water, right? For the acidity, and it's supposed to be good for you. I read it somewhere. It might not be. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But that's what I do. So, but after that, like, you go eat your normal stuff. You expect it to taste like what you expected to taste like. But after that, it didn't taste like I expected it to taste like. And my tongue was raw. Like it was like, it was really raw. I guess because in order to get something that hot, it's pure extract anyway. That's not a pepper. It's just straight. Yeah. It's, but bro, not recommended to anybody listening. If you want to, be my guest. Well, I'll do it with you. Absolutely not. Will I do the last dab with you all day long? But I will not do absolutely not. So if somebody tries to get you to do it, Nathan, just don't do it. I'm telling you. Bad move, bro. Bad. But food wise, man, I love Greek food. I love Indian food, and I love Thai food. Those are my top 3 go-to. After that, it would be obviously Italian, like, pizza. Who don't love pizza, right? Pizza you can eat cold, whatever. Another time too, let me tell you this before we move on. We have this Indian restaurant down here called Nawab's. Absolutely amazing. So I go in there and I order tiki marsala, which I love tiki marsala. And I was, Nathan, it's not all the time when you're like, oh, I'm gonna eat the last dab. You get in this certain mood. You wake up and you're like, I'm in a hot mood today. Like I'm banging it out. All my eggs, I'm last dab, right? Last dab on it. And people are like, what the hell is this guy? Let's do it. So I go to this Indian restaurant, tiki marsala. Dude's like, how spicy do you want it? Usually I get like a 3, and that's Indian spice is different than a lot of the other spices. It's decent. So I was like, you know what? I want the hottest shit you got. Not what you pre-make for everybody. I want you to make that special stuff in the back you make for yourself. That's what I want. He says, are you sure? I'm like, absolutely, bring it to me. And he walks off and he chuckles. And I was like, why does he think I'm so funny? Like, right? So my spidey sense should have tickled right then. Nope. I got this. Brings it out. I look over and they're standing over here in the corner watching me. Not one waiter, but 4 waiters. And one of the guys in the back peeps his head around the corner. And I'm about 4 or 5 bites into it, and all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, something's seriously wrong here. It was intense, bro. Like it was to the point, it was so hot, Nathan, I almost couldn't eat. That's how hot it was. Dude, yeah, and that's hot. Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's like your whole shit's just on fire, and it's like, I don't care what I do. It's just, yeah, it was but yeah, another story. It was good stuff. So lesson learned, when you go to an Indian restaurant, it's okay if you get the 5 out of 5 heat, but don't tell the guy to go back in the back and make the special shit.
Make the 6 out of 5, yeah.
Dude, you're going to get the 9 out of 5 special shit, right? But I do that to all the Mexican restaurant because I love Mexican food too, right? So I go to a Mexican restaurant, can I get some hot sauce? And I always bring you Tapatio and all this. I'm like, no, I want some hot sauce, like, and they'll bring me out like these vinegar jalapenos. I'm like, no, you got like fresh, like you got. I want the hot sauce you guys make, right? So now, a couple of the Mexican restaurants I go to, when I come in, they're like, here you go. Well, we got you right here, right? They bring me that extra good stuff with the cilantro and the lime and
Mhm.
so good, man. Making me hungry right now just thinking about it. Yeah, good stuff, man. So listen, celebrity crush. Who is Nathan's celebrity crush?
Ooh. Um, Celebrity crush.
Celebrity
Who do I want to
crush.
say?
There's so many, right?
Yeah, I mean, I could go basic and say Margot Robbie. I mean, that's just like an easy,
Everybody
you
says
know.
there's a lot of people that said Margot Robbie on here. Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
she's it's easy. Yeah, yeah. I like, dude, growing
I feel
up,
like it's
dude, I
kind of a
like
cop out, you know.
Salma Hayek. Oh my god, dude, I
Oh
have a
yeah,
thing for
yeah.
her, dude. Absolutely, bro. And did a lot of things a lot of people say too is Jennifer Aniston. I mean, who don't like all that plastic surgery and the way she looks right now, being 60, right? She's absolutely gorgeous for sure.
Hmm. I used to have a picture of Megan Fox in my room when I was a kid, you know. Typical teenage boy, but
Right,
she
right.
definitely looks a little different now.
All that surgery, right? Yeah, I like natural women. I don't like all that
Yeah.
plastic stuff that happens. So that's it. Megan Fox is your celebrity crush.
Yeah, yeah, I guess I'll go with Megan Fox. I won't get too specific.
Okay, no, it's
I'll
good.
keep it pretty broad and say for the actresses, and I'll say Megan Fox.
There you go. Uh, what advice would you give your younger self right now if you were sitting in front of yourself?
I guess my life's very different than it used to be. I would say just just like you got to prioritize what you like to do. You know, if you spend your life doing what other people want you to do, or spend your life doing what you're trying to make somebody else happy, you're never going to be happy yourself. Like you need to make sure that you yourself are happy before you know, focus on anybody else. Because you know it's so easy to lose yourself, especially when you care about other people so much. It's very easy to put them ahead of yourself and you know sacrifice yourself for people who don't even care about you that much. It's very important that you know take care of yourself first. I think
A
it's very
hundred,
very important, and
yeah,
it's very easy to lose track of that.
I, have been there, right? I
Hmm.
mean, absolutely, I've been there, and I'm pretty sure everybody listening to this or that's going to listen to this has been there too in some shape, form, or fashion in their lifetime. So, yeah, man, absolutely. So, do you play any other sports? Are you into any other sports? Like, do you watch football, basketball?
I played a lot of soccer. I was a goalie.
Dude, I
Um,
love soccer. I get a lot of shit from my friends. They're like, "Oh, soccer." I'm like, "No, soccer is football. Your American handball is not football, right? Let's just keep it real,
yeah,
people, right? So, soccer is football is the shit. The
yeah. I
black
played
ball.
all throughout high school. Funny, the nursing school just made an intramural team, and they asked me to be part of it because they need more guys. So I'm playing with a bunch of nursing majors. That should be fun. We'll see how that
So,
goes.
favorite soccer player?
Again, I don't really watch it that much.
Oh,
I mean, I can say Messi just because you know I think he's the goat, but
he is the goat. I mean,
I don't watch too
absolutely.
much of it.
So you don't have a favorite. So my MSL team, MLS, I always get it backwards because I'm a little dyslexic sometimes, right? Is Inter Miami. It's not because we got Messi. I liked Inter Miami. You know why I liked Inter Miami? What drew me to Inter Miami and here in American football was I love pink. I'm a huge fan of the color pink, right? And when I seen that pink and black uniform, I was like, dude, that's my team right there when I was little. That's my team right there. And that's who I stay true to. As far as overseas, man, it's hard for me to have an overseas all-time favorite team. Just because the way it is, like Messi could be playing with some like I liked PSG there for a little while, France when they had Mbappe, uh Messi, Neymar Jr. I mean, that's a squad of squads right there alone, right? Yeah, so I do watch Apple TV. I'm a huge Inter Miami, so I'm in there watching football. I play football on the PlayStation, which brings me to the next question: PlayStation or Xbox?
I'm a PC guy. I'm
Oh,
not gonna pick one because I'm a diehard PC guy.
I gotcha.
I played World of Warcraft for like almost 20 years now. Um,
What a game,
I'm
dude.
trying to get out of it because it's very addicting. But yeah, I started playing that with my dad again. Something I did with him, and he stopped playing and I kept playing. But it's always been PC. There's like been a couple of games I've been playing with some of the other racers actually. Some of them like to play video games, so I've been hooking up with some of them and playing like a game called Lethal Company, which is a ton of fun if you haven't heard of it.
No, I
It's
haven't.
basically like a mini horror game that you just have to go and collect scrap to meet a quota, and you just try not to die. And it's
It's just fun.
proxy. It's
Yeah.
proxy chat. It's just a way to
Okay.
mess around, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. Um, but yeah, it's definitely PC. I've never owned, the only console I've owned is like a Wii or maybe a GameCube, but I've never owned really a Xbox or
Yeah.
PS or PlayStation. So
Okay. Wow. I'm a
again, my dad
PlayStation.
works at Lenovo, so it's always been a PC thing.
Okay, there you go. See, I want, dude. So, yeah. Speaking of, I got to get me a new computer. So instead of getting a laptop, I think I'm gonna get a home computer for the podcast. I think it'll be better for me.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
and
if
get
you
me
want
a.
to get Lenovo, like let me know.
I will. No, we'll.
I'll make sure
Yeah,
you get hooked up.
yeah. We'll chat after this for sure. But yeah, of course I play with Junior Cup guys and some of my BSB guys over there, and we play Ride 5. And then God damn it, Fortnite, dude. Everybody
I've
in the
never
world,
played it.
Fortnite. Dude,
Yeah.
it's a cool game. Don't get me wrong; it's a cartoonish game, which is cool because I like the graphics. But the thing that throws me off on Fortnite is like you can build shit. So if somebody's shooting at you, you hit the button, you can build like a wall in front of you, build these stairs and run up all these stairs. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like I'm
That's too
old
much.
school. Yeah, like I just want to shoot headshots, dome
Yeah.
shots, and go on with it. But yeah, it's fun, man. But not as much as Ride 5 or FIFA on the PlayStation
Yeah.
there.
I was gonna get Ride 5, but I saw there wasn't any cross-platform play. So any of the guys I wanted to play with, I think they're on
Ride Ride
PlayStation.
5 is cross-platform,
I was told it
ain't it?
wasn't. Well,
I haven't.
it might be PlayStation and Xbox, but I'm not sure if it's
Okay.
PC and PlayStation.
Okay. Not like
So,
Call of Duty. Call of Duty's
yeah,
cross-platform
yeah, yeah.
to aliens and up there's playing with us on Call of Duty, right? Dude, that's awesome. So, do you have a favorite racer like growing up, getting into motorcycles?
Yeah, I absolutely do, and it's Mark Marquez. I think Mark Marquez, he definitely gets a lot of shit. He deserves a lot of shit, but he is undeniably, I think, one of the best riders. When I first got into MotoGP is when he was, it was kind of like the end of Rossi. I never really watched racing when Rossi was at his prime, and I'm sure I would have been a Rossi fan. But like right when I joined is
Absolutely.
when he was, kicking Marquez,
Yeah.
kicking his, making him crash, and I only kind of saw part of it. So it's just from what I've seen, he's dominated until he broke his arm, which about the same time I broke my arm. So another reason to kind of I relate to him. But I just I think he's the GOAT personally, and
No,
I'm sure people will disagree with me on that, but it, he had results for until he got injured, but he's on the Ducati now, so we'll see if he gets back to it.
yeah, it's listen, it's undeniable his talent, right? It's just like anything, bro. When Rossi was the GOAT, obviously he was leaving out the sport. Somebody's got to pick it up. There's always going to be somebody come by and replace somebody, right? Listen, I used to dislike Marquez. I don't never use the word hate. I think that's one of the worst words you can use. Hate's such a bad word, right? Like to me, fuck's not a bad word. Hate's a bad word, right? Because hate's so negative. It's just so negative energy. It's I don't even like saying it, but man, I used to dislike Marquez, of course, because I'm a huge Rossi. Obviously, my son's name Hayden Rossi after Valentino and Nikki Hayden. But then once I started changing my mindset, right? Like and seeing all the struggles that Marquez went through and that pure determination he has to come back and win time and time again, right? I respect him, right? Once Valentino Rossi retired, I found myself to where I'm not such a diehard fan just for one racer like I was with Rossi, right? I'm a huge fan of all of them. And the people that I kind of disliked, I like now, right? Because I see them in a different view in a different way, right?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think Marquez is phenomenal. I think Marquez did the right thing by leaving Honda and going to Ducati. I think he should have done it earlier in his career. And I think if he does win the title on Ducati, it's absolutely going to cement him to an absolute legend. Not saying he's not a legend because he is, but that next level, like, yeah, the fucking GOAT, right?
Yeah.
It's yeah, but but what Rossi did for the sport, I don't see anybody coming maybe within our lifetime doing the same thing that Rossi did as far as elevating the whole sport as a whole, right?
Yeah. I
Plus,
mean,
on
he
top
was
of that,
MotoGP for so long.
dude, well, that and on top of that, Nathan, this is the reason why I say that too, right? So when Rossi started, that was back when two strokes, not four strokes, were racing, right? So he 125, 250, 500. Then when the first four strokes come out, right, your whole riding style, everything, the way you rode, the way you braked, the way you cornered, your body position, all that changed, right? And then all this 800s, and then all this
Mhm.
electronics, and now the wings, right? So he adapted his style, and when he retired, he's still going faster than he's ever been on any racetrack. It's just he's old, right? So your speed goes down. Everybody else elevated their game up. So yeah, but as far as that, I don't see nobody doing what Rossi did for this,
Yeah.
elevating the whole sport as a whole, right? Within our lifetime. I could be wrong, right? But yeah, absolutely Marquez is a legend. Same thing with Jorge
Yeah.
Lorenzo. Like I couldn't stand Jorge Lorenzo, obviously because of the Rossi and Lorenzo style, but I said this earlier. I love Greek mythology and I love Egyptian mythology, the pyramids and the pharaohs and the Spartans. And when Lorenzo come out with that Spartan on his helmet, I said to myself, I was like, God damn it, okay, I like you a little bit now because, dude, that's so badass, right? Like, yeah. And then I read his book, and yeah, absolutely much respect because once you read what they went through, their whole mindset, the way they approach things, you understand a person, right? Like we said this earlier, everybody that's listening, don't judge a book by its cover, right? No matter whatever sport you're in, because 9 times out of 10, you probably got more in common than them than the guy you're really cheering for, if that
Mhm.
makes sense, right? So yeah, I'm with you 110% on that.
Yeah.
Do you if you could have dinner with any five people in the world dead or alive?
5 people? Oh my gosh.
All right, let's do three. Three people.
I
Who
gotta
would
think
they
about this
be?
one. 3 people?
Yeah, that could be anybody. It could be
Um,
Valentino Rossi. It could be Bruce Lee. It could be whoever. Who would you have at your dinner table?
See, these are the questions that I like to think about. I don't like to get wrong. Um,
What are your answers?
I know, I know. See, I don't really think it would be anybody crazy, you know? It's I don't feel like I can gain much from meeting these elusive celebrities or, um, these people that have done a ton, it would be nice to have dinner with, one of the greatest riders of all time, but, um, I don't know, the people are popping into my head are just like close friends,
Yeah,
it,
then
it's
that's it. Yeah. Then who
it's
is
just
it?
like
Your
it's
dad? Your best
it's probably my
friend? Yeah.
yeah. I mean, my dad's obviously gonna be.
Number one.
I always wanted to be there,
Yeah.
and then probably the team owner Micah Hand, and then probably I'll throw in Rossi in there. I'll throw in Nikki Hayden. That's what I'll
There
throw
you
in.
go.
Yeah.
Hayden.
So,
Yeah.
so so
Yeah.
we can all three of us can ask some questions.
Yeah, Hayden's the goat. I got asked that question, and man, it's such a hard question because when I answered, I'm like, fuck, I forgot about him. I want him too, right? So it's like I would have mine wouldn't be five, it'd probably be 40 or 50. I don't know how much of a conversation I'd have because it'd be so much chaos going on, right? But yeah, I feel you on that, bro. It is a hard question. And
Hmm.
yeah. Do you watch the Isle of Man TT?
I've watched a little bit of it. I actually met somebody last year who said, who gave me an in to do it if I ever wanted to do it, which was pretty cool. He's like, yeah, find 10 grand in a month of free time and like we'll get you there. And I was like, oh my god, that sounds awesome. So who knows, maybe one day that'll be in the future. But it's I've watched a couple of clips and I've watched like Guy Martin interviews and things like that. It's pretty intense, but it'd be cool to do eventually.
Yeah.
Again, it's one of those things that I would much rather do than like watch a bunch of people do it. I think it'd
Yeah.
be cool to do.
So watching a Guy Martin interview, yeah, you're not gonna learn shit because you don't even know what the hell he's talking about when he's talking, right? I mean, let's just be real on that, right? So I'm a huge so to me, the TT is absolutely, dude, my favorite race of the year. Hands down, it's the Isle of Man. It's to me, it's the most beautiful thing you ever seen on two wheels, public roads, 37 and a half miles, 6 laps. Just it's absolutely just amazing. So yeah, this last question I was actually going to ask you. I can't really ask you because you're not too big in the TT, so you'd be like, but I'll ask it to you anyway, right? So
Okay.
listen, uh, in your opinion, who had the greatest TT comeback ever? Right. So you
See, I
actually got
have
to
no idea.
right. See, so
I don't
it's
know
it's
any
it's
TT riders.
oh, dude, bro. So yes, you need to go watch it. So you can go watch. Listen. You go to the ttplus.com. You can download it
Okay.
on your phone. Okay, it's $25. You can watch the whole year of TT. It's only 2 weeks, right? But what they have is they have a series called Between the Hedges, and they have 2 seasons of it, and it starts from the beginning and it just goes through like John McGinnis and David Jeffries and Mike Hellwood and dude, all these legends, right? Steve Hislop. I mean, Carl Fogger. I can go on and on. I love it. Absolutely love the TT. But Bruce Anstey, dude, of course, all the Dunlops, Joey, Robert, Michael. I mean, it's yeah, dude, it's absolutely amazing. Um, yeah, you should watch it this year. Matter of fact, I think Between the Hedges is actually free. I don't even think you have to
Okay.
subscribe
Yeah.
to the
Send me the
TT
links, absolutely.
Plus. I will. I absolutely. I will. Absolutely. I will. But yeah, listen, dude, we're almost 2 hours into this. I mean, it went by like this. I told you it
I
would.
know.
It's so yeah. Listen, before we get off here, Nathan, I need you to give a huge shout out. Tell everybody how they can find you, how they can follow you, how they can support you. Good idea too. Before you do that, have you ever thought about starting your own club? Like your race number Club 62, right? So a lot of my European guys, friends out there in BSB, they have their own club, like my mate right here, Jake Marsh.
Mhm.
Uh, his number's 45, so there's a club 45, right? So for 45 pounds or $45, you get a hat or a shirt, right? And then but there's 50 slots. So 50 slots at $45, right? Everybody gets a shirt or a hat. Okay. Every race weekend, they do a drawing out of those 50. And if you win, you get like a signed knee slider or a signed glove or a boot or whatever it is, right? But that's a great way to bring people in and make them feel like they're actually part of you and your team. And it's a good way to earn you the extra income as far as tire bills, your gas bill. I mean, we can go on and on. Race fuel. I mean, we can get lost in this whole conversation when it comes to the expense with motorcycle racing. Um, but yeah, that's something maybe you should think about. It's free
Yeah,
to
that's
start.
I could always use more support. So and
Yeah,
we just got these hats in. We just got them made. Rocking the new SR logo. Trying to get away from 62 because I've had a couple people try to buy the number from me or try to take it. So
yeah,
it seems like it's a popular number. So I'm trying to go to the logo now, but this is what we're going with.
I
I
love
think it
it.
looks pretty cool.
It's sick. I love it.
Yeah.
It is. So yeah, listen, tell everybody how they can follow you on social media and all that good
Yeah.
stuff.
You can find me on Facebook, Nathan Seethaler. My Instagram is I think it's Seethaler 62 Racing. Um, if you need anything, if I find a weekend you need something, please reach out. Come chat. Keep an eye out for a movie called One Fast Move that me and like 10 other guys filmed it like a year and a half ago, and they said it's supposed to come out pretty soon. It's about racing. Hopefully they'll come out soon. But yeah, if you see it, go see it. But yeah, it's like I said, if you ever see my tent, big red tent, see Taylor Racing on it, just come say hi. Not enough people come chat, so I'm always down to talk to somebody. And yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, good because you're gonna be tired of seeing me in Atlanta. You'd be like, dude, just go away, bro. For real. Like, yeah, we'll talk about the podcast. Just go away. Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
just joking. But yeah, listen, before I get off here, again, Nathan, it's been an absolute honor to have you on. Absolutely, and much appreciated. Again,
Yeah, thank you for having me on. Absolutely.
dude, bro, this is for you right here. Absolutely. But listen, big shout out to my man Jake Marsh, okay, and Pete Marsh, the whole RD racing team. They race in the GP2 class and British Superbikes. They actually support me. And dude, I'm on their race bike, I'm on their leather suits, I'm on their team gear. It's been an absolute honor and a dream. Thank you guys so much for 2024. Big shout out. He has a club. Club 45. I need everybody on here to go show Jake all the love. Sign up to his Club 45. If you don't know how to do it, get in touch with me. I'll put you in direct contact. Same thing with all my friends here in the whole racing world that has a club. Man, I need to write a list out to everybody. It'd probably be another 15 minutes of me giving a bunch of shout outs to all the clubs, but I need to really do it for sure because it means a lot to all my friends racing in their whole program, right? Big shout out to my man Martin from the Clothing Kings. You can go to theclothingking.co.uk. They make all my Pin to Gas podcast merch. You get hats, beanies, soft shell jackets, hooded sweatshirts, t-shirts, purses, dude, you name it, he can make it in any colors you want. So big shout out to Martin and the Clothing Kings. Thank you guys so much. And listen, big shout out to everybody that likes and subscribes and watches this podcast. It's such an honor. It really is. And I'd say it all the time. All you guys are so proper mega. And if you hadn't had the chance yet, please go hit the, I don't never say this, Nathan. So this is kind of new for me to say this. It's just, I just never thought about saying, go like and subscribe, hit the bell and the ring and all that good stuff, right? You guys know the deal. I'm on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm on YouTube. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Spotify, yada, yada, yada. This episode will be out tomorrow on Spotify and iHeartRadio. The only thing it won't be out on is on Apple because I'm not on Apple yet because I need somebody to help me figure out how to put my logo into my RSS feed, which I have no idea how to do, right? So, but yes, thank you guys so much. Dude, it's an absolute honor. Thank you, everybody who watched tonight. Joseph Ray, Paul McKee, Erica Wolf, Ken S. Yes, I see your comment. One fast move movie. Absolutely. Yeah, can't wait to
They're
see
sliding me
that.
papers down here trying to get me to shout it out.
Yeah, good stuff. We'll bring them in on camera. Yeah, I don't care. Bring them in. Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Jason Doss, Chris Lewis again. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, so you guys will see this guy right here tomorrow and Sunday. So yeah, I will see you guys then again. Nathan, I don't want to murder your last name. So Nathan,
Try
thank
it.
you
Just
so much.
give it a shot. Give it a shot.
Seethaler.
See, Lither, the TH goes before the A.
Dude, I told you I'm a little
Seethaler.
Seethaler. Dude, I got a trouble with my tongue rolling, right? That's why I was never good at Spanish.
Yes, that spicy food's come back to haunt you.
Yeah, facts, brother. Facts. Thank you. Yes, but listen, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much. I will see you guys tomorrow. Dude, this was a lot of fun, Nathan. Thank you so much for coming.